Okay, well, welcome. Welcome, everybody. We're going to have David joining us very shortly. So until then, go over a few things and get some input from you, maybe any questions if you have questions. First of all, thank you for the people who helped put this event on such short notice.
Yes.
Yeah? Got the word out, got people here, and tonight we're having a guest event, so the rest of the afternoon you want to be thinking about who you absolutely have to have here, right? You want to get them here, because we have David. David's going to put on a great informational piece. And then guess what we've got coming up in about 2 or 3 weeks? Anybody? The numbers 5, 6, 7 mean anything? September 5, 6, 7? Yeah? Dream Academy. Dream Academy. And so here's the overview, right? We're here in August. We're moving into September, and then October 17th is what? Anybody? Convention, San Diego. This is going to be a very different convention than anything you've ever been to. In other words, one of the things that we're doing this year that's different is we're going to have a 3-day boot camp, a Dream Academy convention, and then a 3-day boot camp. So it's not going to be the old convention style. Yes, we'll have recognition, and that'll be different, and we're going to have, different parts like we've had before with bits. But primarily, this is going to be a chance for your people to come, get trained, and make some money. So let's say if you got to go to San Diego, it costs you what, $500, $700, $1,000, maybe more. How about going to San Diego and coming back with $1,000 or more in your pocket? Make sense? Yeah.
Will it be at the headquarters?
It'll be part of it at the headquarters, I think, and I don't have all the details on that, Robin, but I know they're working on it. It's actually going to be at a hotel. That's right. It's going to be a hotel. But here's the thing. Remember, a lot of you guys were at the first boot camp we held here like last fall, don't remember the dates, right? I just want to give you a sense, an overview of the progression of what's happened since then. Because at that boot camp, let's just say our average sales per person, per attendee, was somewhere between $0 and $100. It was very low, right? It wasn't highly productive from a sales point of view, but it actually launched something historic. Now, fast forward to the cycle, say, in February, March, we had boot camps. The average sales per person was $2,000 per person. And then we just had another cycle, and the average sales was $5,000 per person. Per person. Now, I'm committed, come on in. I'm committed to heading toward 10,000 or more per person. Now, here's what I want you to know about this. Under the new Success Kit comp plan, half of that's paid out, approximately half. So just do the math for yourself. And I'm not a mathematician, I don't like a lot of math, but this is simple stuff because you just got to add zeros. So if you have one person that goes to a boot camp and they move $5,000 worth of products, between $2,000 and $2,500 is paid out in commissions that week to you and them as the upline, and part of your upline. A couple $1,000. Now, if you're, let's just say you're a star diamond, you might be making anywhere, you might be making $1,000 of that. But let's just say you're making $100. Let's take a real low number. As part of the upline, you're making $100. So if you've got one person at one boot camp, you make $100 that week. What if you had 10 people at that boot camp? How much would you make? $1,000. Anybody want to make $1,000 this week? Every week? So you got boot camps doing that? Now, and most of you probably have 10 people in your groups, right? At least. Some of you have a lot more. What if you had 100 people at a boot camp this week? How much would you make this week? $10,000 this week. 100 people. Getting this? What if you had 1,000 people at a boot camp in your group this week? Anybody got the big number? $100,000 this week. Guys, these numbers are doable. Can you have 10 people? Can you see 10 people in the next month or 2 or 3 going to boot camps in your group? Now, that's making $100. If you made $1,000 off that, just add another zero. That's $1 million if you had 1,000 people this week. I mean, scale it back. If you have 100 people, if you have 10 people. So the point is not for you to be a math wizard and get all this figured out. The point is that there's some, who's in business to make money? Yeah, among other things, right? But no money, no business. This is the path to making money. This is the path to making seriously good money, seriously fast. And that's, you know, we're just kind of getting our stride with this thing at $5,000 a person. You know, we get to $10,000 a person, just double that, whatever those numbers are in your mind. So that's the good news. This thing's working, and it's working powerfully, and it's evolving. It's evolving. So, any questions or comments about that? Anybody hopefully excited about that?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing that's so great is how we're already evolving to where people don't have to physically come to this
Yes.
camp. They
Very
can
good.
have their own in Minnesota,
Yeah.
or wherever they are, and they can
Very,
get
very
the
good.
training and not have to fly here if they can't make that happen. That's another huge
Yeah.
breakthrough that just happened, right?
Yes, and can I elaborate on that?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that we've done is we've developed technology, or we're mastering some technology to do what Rob was talking about, to disperse the boot camps. So get this, you want to have 10 people, how much do you make if you have 10 people in a boot camp? $1,000, and that's at a low earnings level, right? $1,000. Do they all have to be 10 in this room? No. Can you see having 10 people spread out around the Lifeforce universe in any given week? Now here's the key to that. First of all, how many people know people that want to lose weight and have bought a video or a book, or, you know, that happens, right? Anybody's interested, we got some old Jane Fonda workout videos. You're welcome. They don't necessarily work, right? If they worked, everybody buy one and they'd be happy the rest of their life. I mean, it can work, right? But what we know really works is you get people in a room together in a coached situation, committed, supported situation, supported endeavor, and it works. Now here's the key. Does that mean they have to come to these boot camps every time? No. What we've seen is if they come to one of these boot camps once, a supported boot camp, and they go, wow, this works. I understand how it works. I did it. I moved product. They can then go home to Minnesota and hold a boot camp there because they understand and are embodying it. What about the fire? Caught, not taught. Jane Fonda workout video. Is that caught or taught? This is teaching. If it was just teaching, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It's about catching on fire, taking the fire home, and catching them on fire. Right? Now how we can support that is we now are using the technology to actually beam into your boot camp in your home. Pilar, Cindy, Suzy, Joan, some of you, Bob, you guys have been at a boot camp recently where we're Skyping in, right? We're doing the opening session. I don't know if you want to say anything about how it works for you, but here's what we can do now. So you've got somebody in Minnesota. You want them to get on fire, you want them to work, you want it to really smoke for them. Great. Get them here on the 5th, 6th, 7th of September. Do whatever it takes. Get them here. Get them here to be in front of David for 3 days and understand and get belief and commitment and support. They catch on fire. They go home to Minnesota, and then we can beam into their living room and help them directly. Right? See, so they don't just go home and hope it works. They're going home in a supported way. So now they have a supported boot camp. It's not the same as having David Collister in the room, but it's the next best thing. It's the next best thing. So maybe they only do $4,000 worth of sales, or $3,000, or $300. It's more than they were doing before.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you guys know Cliff Royal. Those of you guys were here. Was he great? Yeah, superstar. The point is, when he shows up in a room, when somebody on fire shows up in a room, the sales just go whoop. That's why we're getting these big numbers. So the trick is, who do you want in your room? David, Cliff. You know, you want these rock stars to come in and work your rooms with you, because if you've got 10 people or 100 or 2, what's going to happen is the sales are going to go up. So would it be worth paying their airfare to come? Yeah. Would it be worth giving them money to come? Yeah. Is it worth having a professional trainer, career cadre of people? Yeah, absolutely. And maybe some of you want to be some of those trainers, right? Because when you show up in the room, the sales go through the roof because you're effective. So you see how this is starting to shape up as a whole system? Mm-hmm. And this is what we talked about a year or two ago. This is what was visualized and put out and affirmed. It's starting to drop into place now. You can see the pieces. Just keep watching because it's still coming. It's still evolving. We're still developing it, dialing it in. But you can see the outlines. It's been predicted, it's been declared, and now it's working. This is not just random happenstance. Oh, gee, look at that. That showed up. No, that was spoken about. That was committed to. And now you're seeing it evolve. You're seeing it happen. This is powerful stuff.
Michael, is there, this is maybe way out there, but is there any kind of marketing materials that are coming about that talk about this concept? Not half an hour long things, but something that, you know, me talk, because I get a lot of people throughout the United States that I would love to show them a 2-minute video on this concept.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of network marketers that come in, they want to know the concept.
Yeah.
And I can talk to them verbally, but is there any?
There's nothing developed yet, but now that you're mentioning it, let's do that.
Yeah.
And part of the reason it hasn't been developed yet is because it's still what?
Yeah,
developing.
Yeah.
You know, we just hit that 5,000 mark in this last cycle.
So maybe shoot you an email just as a reminder.
Yeah, and let's work on it as a project.
Do a 5-minute video of David today describing it, and then put that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can start to put that together. I mean, part of it is, you know, we have this new comp plan, right? The MultiPass. I don't know if any of you've studied it, or you've gotten paid in it, or you're excited about it. This is big stuff. David might talk about it later, but when they were talking with a company called InfoTrax, just some background. InfoTrax does like 60% of the network marketing companies' back offices and comp plan, you know, computations and all that. When they saw this just recently, they didn't lose it, but they got extremely excited. Guys, I don't understand. In the industry, there's only a few kind of major comp plans. There's not a lot new under the sun. This is new under the sun. And the experts, these guys are the world experts. They're excited about it. They're going, wow, we haven't seen this. We love it because it stops clumping and it pays out fairly and all the reasons that you probably heard about. So, you know, you need a couple things to have a big network marketing company. You need great products, right?
Got that done.
You need a great comp plan, and you need a system to deliver both of the above. We got the boot camps, we got the BENew and body balance, and now we've got the comp plan. Again, was any of this predicted? Yeah. Didn't we talk about this a year ago? Sure. It's all dropping in now. It's all starting to fruit. So then, in direct response, it hasn't been developed. It will be developed, and maybe we're the ones to do it. And, you know, frankly, it hasn't been the time, but now it is, isn't it? Now it is. Yeah. I also want to mention that not the following weekend from the 5th, 6th, 7th, but the weekend after that, which I believe is the 20th or something, we're going to do an East Coast event, Dream Academy Boot Camp with a dispersed boot camp. So what we're going to do here is 3 days of Dream Academy, and then hopefully Joan up in Longmont's going to hold boot camp in her home. Cindy will hold one in East Denver, and you know, maybe somebody in this area. Robin can hold one in Boulder, maybe in Durango, maybe up in Evergreen and Nederland, and you know, do the boot camps in your home. There's no cost, right? Totally duplicatable. And get on the broadcast. So we're beaming in to open it up. Would you like to have David open up the thing for you every day? Sure. Who wouldn't? So we're going to do that here. Then 2 weeks later, we're doing an East Coast tour. So we're going to draw Connecticut, Boston, New York, DC, all in the western suburbs of Philadelphia. For again, a Dream Academy and then dispersed boot camps or BENew camps. Yeah. So you can see now we're marching to convention, right? So we got, this is August, we're marching through September powerfully, and then convention. Then after convention, and by the way, these are all tied in globally, these events, right? So you'll be able to, you know, if you get the right hookups, you'll be able to see what's going on in the other countries, doing the same thing, be able to see the different cities doing the same thing. In October, after convention, then going in November, December, all the way up to Estes Park next year, first and third weekends of every month, boot camp. Boot camps, boot camps. Now,
Success Camps is the new name, right?
BENew camps.
BENew camps.
Yeah.
Dream
So, well, the Dream Camp name came out as this run-up to convention, so this is a limited slot. And you know, the wisdom will emerge from you guys as what to call it, right? It's not like the company says, oh, well, we're going to call it this. There's a name hung on it by somebody somewhere. But it's a funny thing, because a lot of people hadn't been to a camp and said, oh, I don't like the name. And, you know, and then when they come, they go, oh, that's actually a pretty good name.
It's descriptive.
So, go figure. What's the name? But the point is this. The point is that first and third weekend of every month is a globally coordinated camp. So they're doing it in the other countries too. So there's some strength in that, right? The strength is, oh yeah, every first and third weekend, yeah, we know. So if somebody says, yeah, what are you doing in March? Oh, first and third weekend, I know what I'm doing. Doing this, why don't you come? But we can also build incredible credibility by seeing in the opening of your camp, here's somebody from another country talking about their experiences and sharing their wisdom, challenges. So you got this integrated sort of system. Yeah? So I can see the framework develop. It's pretty exciting stuff.
And we're the beginning of this here. So it's up to us to get this boat going.
Yeah.
You know.
And you guys will be the ones that get the big rewards. You'll get the big rewards. David talks about occasion. Yes.
Is what someone told me today, I just want to clarify. How do I find out where all these things are happening all the time? Is it the Facebook page?
Yeah, the Team Crown is undergoing a metamorphosis, a change. Like I've stepped back, and now other people are running that. So we've got a new. Anybody like the new look of the new newsletter?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can thank Manfred and Leo for that. They're taking that piece over. Now going to start activating the Facebook page and the Twitter and the feeds and all that. So all this is going to start flowing through differently. So right now you can still go to the website, which is under a very comprehensive redesign. It's listed there, but they'll be putting out, you know, periodic announcements instead of once a week with a newsletter. They'll be just putting them out as they come up.
So you're
So
talking
like
about
a
Team
little-
Crown website?
Yeah, Team Crown.
Like a boot camp in different people's homes,
Yes.
will all those be on there?
Yes, there's two calendars. There's a sanctioned calendar, which like this is a sanctioned event, you know, where you could send somebody, because you know David Hollister here, they're not going to be talking about Amway, they're not going to be, you know, weird. And then there'll be an open calendar where anybody can put anything on there. And, you know.
And that's Team Crown.
Yeah.
TeamCrown.org right now is all the.
Well, the org is just
Calendar.
a quick little advertising registration place. I want to say it's on .net and maybe, as Robin said, on .org. I'm sorry, I don't have the exact answer, but I can get that for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's, yeah. It's
Well,
just
we're
under-
trying to do all the local ones on that, the Facebook page that we set up locally.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're on there through the month of August.
Okay.
And then we're gonna continually to update it. So for local, for sure, check there.
Okay.
That's the BENew Success
Camp.
Yep, BENew Success. That's the Facebook page? Yes,
Mhm.
BENew Success Camp it's called.
And that may turn out to be the global page. I mean, you know, it's up to everybody to help make this thing work, because no one person can really do all of it. So thanks for setting that up. And, you know, that may
Jimmy and Ben set
okay.
that up.
So that may very well be the default. People just start piling
Well,
in
I was
there.
just thinking, I'll talk to Jimmy about making sure that when it's updated on Team Crown, that we get it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because I could see it as a country page or a world
Yeah.
page.
Well, if someone, if Francie had a boot camp in
Yeah.
Corvallis, she's so welcome to post it on,
Yeah.
you know, what we're gonna call the Denver Boulder one, because she could have peeps that could send people there, so we wouldn't discourage that by any means. But that's where, for now, in this transition of the website, you can count on that one for local.
Yeah, the company's cooperating magnificently. Now they're starting to send out announcements for Team Crown, and you know, that's just wonderful, because now there's a unified voice. Everybody's on board with the program. So it's great.
So with regard to that, Joan might wanna announce that she is having one shortly here, so that anybody can put that on their calendar, right now. So you
It
wanna
is
give
in
them the
Longmont,
dates.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this week. And I did post it on Facebook on the BENew Success, and it's from 9 to 5, with an event Friday night at 6:30 at my home in Longmont, if you want my address.
Okay, is there an invitation for the, separate, written about the guest event?
No,
Just
no, it's just,
make our own
yeah,
invitations.
yeah. Yep.
And then there's one next week too also, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you guys are doing the week, at my place, which is by the First Bank Center in Broomfield. And the guest event is Thursday evening, 6:30.
So what's evolving globally, I'll just give you a little update. They're now doing PermaCamps. PermaCamp is an ongoing boot camp that doesn't end. They're just, and here's how it happened. This is really cool. Because people went to 3-day boot camps and they said, oh, well, I've done more in the last 3 days than I've done in the last 3 months or 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't want to go home. And then they extended it to a 5-day and then a 7-day. And then they just said, well, we're just going to keep this thing going. And now it's like the eternal torch. It doesn't stop. They're just cranking it.
Overseas?
Yeah, yeah. So
One location or?
it started in Melbourne because a lot of you know Vera, who will be here for convention, I think. She just has her kind of healing center, and she said, no, we're going to do it like me, just do it. So it's just on.
Kind of like a coffee shop. They're stopping at Vera's.
People, yeah. People, like, I can come in on Tuesday, great, just come in and work. Or I work the day, I can only come in the evening, well, come in the evening. Or I can only come 2 hours, come. So it's that sort of thing. And, you know, I think Cindy and your team, you guys have been running a pretty sort of ongoing camp, right? I don't know if it's a PermaCamp yet, but it's the natural evolution. Because isn't this what we're supposed to do in our homes anyway, right? This is prospecting and follow-up. That's what it is. A little bit of training, but that's what network marketers do. Nothing new here. So this is, if you're full-time, this is what you do anyway at your home, so you're just doing it with other people. And if you're part-time, you're just doing it part-time, but you're doing it with other people. So you're not isolated. And it's much more productive. And then occasionally you can get in people like Cliff or David or whoever that come in and just supercharge the thing. And once you learn their craft of how they do that, then you can do that. And then you can see how this thing starts to build. What's really exciting though is the new people that are coming in, they don't know any different. They come in and they look around and go, well, this is what we do. Great.
Yeah.
Let's get at it.
So this is the hard part, is getting all the old minds to get to the new minds.
Yeah. And I'm not saying this is true, but you could ask David. He's shared this because he's fast growth strategist. He's helped several companies go through major fast growth. These fast growth spurts, you know, companies can grow forever like this, but to grow like this, you can't do that forever by definition, right? So this may last 2-3 years. If you're good, it may last 4 or 5 years. If you're really, really good, it could last a little bit longer. But it's finite. I mean, they'll go like this, and then they'll go like this, right, or like this. This is the sweet spot. This is the part where you want to get in now, because and ask David, because he shared this with me. And I actually know this from experience, because I was in a fast growth company before I got to Lifeforce. What happens is people can sit on the sidelines and go, oh yeah, well, we'll see. Yep. And then people start popping diamonds in a month or 2 or 3. Like, boom, somebody comes in, they go diamond. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see if that lasts. And then, you know, they wait a while, and then they finally go, well, okay, that's real. They went to Crown Diamond in a year. It must be. So, okay, I'll start to get in. What is this stuff? And they poke around, and they start to get, you know, thaw out a little bit. And when they finally start to get in the groove, guess what's happened? It's over. They missed it. Now, it doesn't mean it's still not a good deal, but it's not like this deal. So just let me know that you guys are clued in, because you're right at the beginning of this thing. You'll get the maximum value right there. So you bring your new people in, this is all they know, and they don't have the reluctance. So I think you're right, Ben. Some people will miss it, and that makes me sad on a personal, professional level, but I mean, it's not for me to say. It's just that you guys have got it, you understand it, and whatever process you've got, you may be more or less resistant to it, but I'd encourage you to be as open as you can, as quick as you can, and just get on board with the program. Get on board. And, you know, you don't have to believe me about it. I mean, maybe something you want to share. You don't have to say, well, I popped a diamond in 3 months, but what's your work production doing? How's your spirit? How's your vision? How's your belief and commitment? How's your, you know, maybe some of you can say, I've done more in the last month than I've done in the last decade. I don't know. But you guys want to come on up here?
Well, I've been at pretty much every boot camp and almost every day, unless I was, when I was in Michigan. So I've been there every day. And I have to say that the days when there isn't a boot camp and I go home and I say that I'm going to go home and I'm going to have my own little boot camp by myself. Not so much. So we can say that, and it just, I don't know about the rest of you, but from what I hear, that's pretty typical. So getting on these Skype calls with Michael and David every morning is invaluable. And then having the community and the energy around when you don't want to pick up the phone or you don't feel like doing it, which happens a lot, is amazing. This has been incredible. And I can tell you, I just shared this with Michael. I did not like boot camp. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go because I didn't want to pick up the phone. I love boot camps. I love boot camp now. Like when Joan just said, because she's having one, and I'm having one, and I'm thinking, okay, when's the one after that? You know, do we have that yet? You guys, you just gotta go. And it's really hard, I think I said this on the Facebook page, it's really hard to actually put it into words until you go and experience it. It is an experience. But it's not like just doing this on your own without having that energy and that community, and the support is amazing. And I will say, like Michael just said, I've made more calls at those boot camps than I ever even said that I was gonna make before. So it just gets you out of your way, and it builds your commitment, it builds your belief. You're immersed in it. I could go on and on about them, but just really get there. And it's fun too. It's so much better to do it in a fun environment like that. So.
As somebody who's been in a supportive role for many years in Lifeforce, I was also supporting the boot camp. You know, I'd help with the drinks and I'd do all this kind of stuff, make sure the computer worked, and you know, that was my part in it. But in all seriousness, the thing that I got out of the boot camp was having a conversation with Michael and David in the morning, every morning. It's supposed to be half an hour, and you know, David, it's not. But I want to acknowledge that one of the main concerns I had in doing this business was rejection. And so Michael was very gentle every day. How'd you do? How'd it go, Bob? How'd it go, Bob? How'd it go, Bob? And finally, I made some calls and had some conversations, and they went rather poorly. And as somebody who's always been in the corporate world, you don't report poor results. So I reported to Michael and David that, you know, it really went poorly. That people weren't calling me back and they weren't taking my calls. And Michael just sat back, smiled, and said, welcome to the club. And I'm saying, wait a minute, I'm talking to the guy who's the #1 producer in this company, and he's saying, good job, welcome to the club. So that changed my entire attitude about boot camps and about doing this business, because it's mostly about me. It's not about them. And I didn't get that until that conversation, you know. And there's other valuable things in boot camps and in those Skype calls. So if you have the opportunity, tune in.